Want to shoot a quick video on the PFS system tools for trading gold. I personally am starting to get more and more into gold trading and working on optimization through the Claude AI on highly optimized settings. More so for what I call the connected trade, where I'm trading trend bias signals from signal to signal to signal and seeing what time windows of the day, if not the full 23 hours or 22 hours and change per day in the futures market is workable. And then of course, a person can do the same thing in the CFD market, through FX brokers and tier one liquidity providers and so on. I like gold on higher time frames myself, so I'm going to kind of show you what I've been working on for optimization and just some ways you can use the tools to attack gold trading. So I'm on and some people keep sending me emails like, are you trading 1 second charts? I'm like, no. If I was trading a 1 second chart, you'd see tons of new bars populating every second, and that's not happening. I'm on a Renko. I'm feeding the Renko with 1 second data. And for the box size on gold, I like 9, 10, and 11. I have good settings on each one. This is the lowest one where I liked the overall look of the optimization data. I found some good ones on 7 and 5, but a little too active for me. I wanted something that's less active, but catches these big, huge moves frequently that are happening in gold, but then can withstand periods where gold is in kind of grinding type sideways or slightly down or slightly up trends. So there we go. That was the settings there. And as far as connected trade goes, what I mean by that term, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead just for this part of the exercise, since I'm talking about the trend bias, let's turn off the scalp indicator. The scalp indicator is one way of using it. I just want you to see the signals. So if I get a signal, then, and I'm not right now, I'm on settings that are, they're decent. They're not like the best of the best, but I don't want to put out, exactly what I'm on, but, something that's in the ballpark. And it's not hard now with Claude AI in, looking at the indicator and starting on the 7 Renko and going back, just go back 60 days or 90 days and say, hey, if I took every signal in a continuous trade with, stop never more than most recent price pivot, and when I get 1.2 or 1.5 to 1, move my stop to break even plus, and then go after a 2 to 1 target, what gives me the best equity curve? One way, and then another way is just, and I mean, when you get 2 to 1, doesn't mean you flatten the position. It just means you can maybe have the stop start advancing or the stop go beyond. And really a simple way to do it is get into the trade. As far as the optimization goes, when you get a signal, you get into a trade, stop never more than most recent price pivot. And when it gets X amount of distance in relation to your unit of risk, move the stop to break even plus, and then you're in the trade till you get a counter signal. That's the way I've been optimizing. If you want to do and use that to kind of get dialed in and find some settings that are good, then you can go in and do some more optimization where you have more activity going on from the point the trade's entered to the point the trade gets a counter signal, like some scale outs or moving the trail stop and all that stuff. I'm just get me in. As long as I don't go up and hit my stop, keep me in that trade till I get a counter signal. So kind of a continuous trade. And I want to be able to survive periods like this. This is like the worst of the worst, and that's why I'm showing it. But those periods don't harm me in relation to even like one good move. Like one good move makes more than any getting chopped up a bit on 3 or 4 trades, even if they're in a row. Now, there are filters that I'm looking at that do seem to make a difference, where I say if I get a signal within X amount of bars, if I get another signal, don't take it, just keep my stop where it's at. I'm finding out that actually kind of cleans up this kind of stuff really good, and I'm not missing then some really big moves enough that it's better to use the filter, if that makes sense. So connected trade would be, I get long on a signal, then I get short, then I get long, then I get short, then I get long, then I get short, then I get long, then I get short, and so on. So it's basically every time I get a new signal, and what I'm doing to also make sure I never have any counter position violations, you can do it simplistically, as I was explaining, to get the optimization work. But if you're going to go use like Traderspost.io to then run signals as automated, and I got to tell you guys, you've got to go check out Traderspost.io's application, the software. I really, really like it. You have a big panel over here where you can do, set up like an ATM and bracket trades and have it do, trailing stop activity and all that for you. If you want to trade manual, or it's mainly built too to take signals and power and basically take your signals and make the trading automated, and you can copy out to 50 accounts. So it's got trade copier in. So it's like it takes somebody that's on TradingView that just for whatever reason doesn't like or doesn't want to use any of the other typical retail platforms, where you can trade automated as an inherent capability of the platform, and it lets you trade automated and do all these other great features as part of that tool or that application. So what I would typically do, or what I like in systems, is, let's say it's Sunday night, the market opens, and a few minutes later I get a short signal, and I have my automation on through Traderspost. I'm short, then I get a long signal. So when I get a counter signal, the short covers out first. There's a bit of a time delay. Then I allow myself to go long. Then I get a short signal. In other words, the longs are flattened out first, very smidgen of a time delay built in, just to make sure everything's flat. Then I'm allowed to go short. Get a long signal. Okay, all the shorts are flat. Now I'm long, and so on. So you can trade this way to a daily goal. And, the Asian and European sessions are fantastic for trading gold. And the way that I'm looking at moving to in gold is I have some lower time frames where I can do some of this type of trading during the evening session, like Asian EU region or London hours, to go for a daily profit objective on a prop account. But then I'm looking at this for running it for CFDs on an FX account, because I typically, all my FX trading is through tier 1 liquidity providers, to do this in a portfolio of instruments where I'm trading this exact same way, but trading CFDs, like trade S&P 500, trade NASDAQ, trade gold, trade oil, and then trade a grouping of FX pairs. Same way, connected trade, from the Sunday open till the Friday close, same way. So I'm in a deep hunt optimization for FX side and CFDs, just as well as stuff that I can use on the future side. So you could be sitting here trading MNQs like you typically do during the US session, but you could also have automation that if you happen to get a signal that particular evening, you can go look at it and decide to take the trade, with audible tone and all that. You hear the audible tone, you say, oh, maybe I'll throw on a gold trade tonight or this evening or whatever. Or you can just have the automation on so it would automatically take the trade in the time windows that you want the automation to be allowed to take a trade. So there's all kinds of flexibility when you use the Traderspost. And there might be other tools out there, third-party tools for automating your signals. I just love that overall software. It's really good. I like it a lot. So, but yeah, long, then I'm short, then I'm 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 long, then I'm short. That's the connected trade where you're always in from, let's just say, a Sunday market's open till a Friday market's close. So I'm finding numerous settings on gold on a range of time frames using Claude AI for optimization that are doing very well. So what I would suggest is start with a 7 Renko, the regular Renko, and then start going up from there. Look at the 7, then look at the 8 Renko, then the 9, the 10, and the 11. That's there's a sweet spot right in there, 7 through 11. And you get the big gulp cup for free, 7-Eleven. Just kidding. So that's one way of trading gold. Now, another way you can trade gold is just on momentum shifts. And that's where the PFS momentum tool comes in. This is a simplistic way. You can set this up, have audible tones, have the Traderspost take the indicator outputs and give you additional signaling or heads up or whatever you want. Center line cross, long. Center line cross, short. Center line cross, long. Center line cross, short. Rejection or a dip below center line, came back up through the center line, long. Center line cross, short. So you're basically playing momentum shifts. Center line cross, long. Center line cross right in here, short. Center line cross right in here, long. Center line cross, short. So I'm going to shoot a specific video on all these settings for our group, or for the guys, with the Prop Firm Scalping group. Since I built all the tools and I'm perpetuating development of the tools for the group, I'm going to shoot a specific video on these gold settings, like all the settings for the group, and then some additional settings. Also, we're going to have oil. We already have MNQ stuff, but I want oil, gold, Bitcoin futures, the MES instrument, and then ESNQ, doing the same thing in ES that we do with MES, same thing we do with MNQ, we do with NQ, just, different instrument. But yeah, gold trading is exceptional. And then another thing I really like with gold is when key levels are tested or taken out too. I do pay attention to that. So if I see a key level taken out and then I see a momentum shift, or I get a signal, I really like those. And then, of course, if you're manually trading gold, you can always look for divergences. Obviously, you have a big sell-off, you get a divergence, then you get the cross. Okay, that one, that's a momentum shift I want to get involved with, and so on. So I like looking for that kind of stuff too. And then the diamonds with the PFS scalp, anytime you're getting diamonds, so let's say momentum is in a negative heavy downside momentum or heavy upside momentum, if I'm getting diamond signals or the triangle, the trend bias signals, but I have the whole time this is in negative territory, I'm getting diamond, 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 diamond. Now I can reposition the diamonds and move them away from the indicator. I just don't have it set up that way. So you can see them like really easily. You can, have that ping. You can go take a look, see if you want to take the trade or not. So there you have it. If you have any questions, send an email to the guys over at info@propfirmscalping.com, and have a great night.